This is the apron gearbox, which is particularly nasty. You can see there where they just punched holes through. There's ragged edges everywhere, lots and lots of metal, detritus in the bottom. It's had an initial clean, and now I've got to remove all these bits of metal so they don't become detached and float around in the gears. Now everything's broken down to the smallest bits that I can. I'm not going to push those shafts out, there's no need. I can get good access, finish deburring, strip the paint, repaint, reassemble, assuming I can remember which way everything goes. So while the primer is drying on the carriage gearbox, I'll have a go at trial fitting the cover, which I know doesn't fit. It's so far out. Holes are over ½ an inch away from where they should be. I know this because the thing was, to get it to fit, has to be bent right the way out. Well, that's the problem. So I think it's fairly obvious that I'm going to have to slice this, bend that down, and I'll put a bit of angle there and bond it so that the slope so it's at least straight, or better still, it's sloping the other way so any debris fall off into the tray and not into the motor housing. Having cut that away, as soon as I cut through that last bit, it just sprung back into that position, which was where it should have been to start with. So, you know, they've had to force this. That's and that's what's twisted everything. So, you know, just getting that so wrong has caused all the other problems. Now that's naturally where it should be, and they forced that rather than, you know, fixing that. What a pile of shit. While the gearbox has its first coat of primer, some of the other bits are rubbed down waiting for primer. The aluminium stuff just needs a deburr and paint. The little gate that goes on, I'm not going to paint. It was originally painted, but when the pin moves in there, it takes off the paint. So I will polish that and blacken that. Getting all the other bits ready so that I can do the last of the painting, certainly the blue, in one go, because the paint doesn't last. As soon as you open the can, it starts to go off. It's an absolute nightmare to use. That's all been corrected and cut and filled, and that's just had a coat of primer on it. So that's all got to be rubbed down and painted, and then we can put that on. I haven't talked about the paint. What I've been using is the Paragon paints, enamel, and I put it on with superfine 2-inch rollers. The paint is an absolute nightmare. You can get some really good results, but it's very, very difficult to use. You have no time at all. It goes off really, really quickly. It takes a bit of practice. I've probably thrown away as much paint as I've used, because once the can is opened, it starts to go off. And along with the paint itself, you need special thinners and a paint additive to help extend the wetting time, if you like. It doesn't seem to work, quite frankly, and I don't know why they just don't put it in the paint to start with, because, as I say, you open a fresh tin and that's the best result you're going to get. And if you plan it right and do all your painting at one go, you're probably going to be okay. But if, like me, you know, you're working over a period of months and you do a bit here and there, you don't buy a big can, buy several small cans, or a can and decant it into smaller cans and seal them well, because as I say, it's not good for longevity. Once it's on, and it's a good finish, but it's bloody hard work.
After a lot of filing and trial fitting and frigging around to get this end to fit, it's the other end, and
they're the original holes. So I managed to get it close. It's about ½ an inch out. Even in the best will in the world, you know,
this was all pushed out like that, so it actually sprung back.
That's had to be straightened, and
This is now straighter. This was bent back, and that's had a piece bonded to the underside, and that's just had a coat of primer, and it's now got to be
painted. Ta-da! At last, we have a splash guard that is level and level in both planes and fitting properly. You can see all the little bits of cutting out that I've had to do to make it a decent fit, and they don't provide big enough washers to properly clamp, but that's all good. Just need to paint it now and move on.